Give me $10,000. My 6-year-old grandson Liam suddenly came to me for the first time in half a year. I couldn't believe my ears at those words. Besides, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he was skinny and tattered. I don't want to sleep in the park anymore, so I'm buying a house. When I asked why, he simply replied this. A lot of thoughts ran through my head. For the time being, I let him into the house and tried to listen to him. But the grandson does not move a little, does not move a single step. And after that, a furious development awaited us beyond our imagination. I'm Isabella, 55 years old. I am currently working as a manager at a food company. I lost my husband early, and I worked hard from morning to night because I was raising my daughter Abigail with only one woman. I couldn't even talk to my daughter. So I kept an exchange diary with Abigail and kept updates on each other's status, and that's how we worked hand in hand, like mother and child, sometimes like best friends. Her beloved daughter got married 7 years ago. I was so happy that I gave her a pretty expensive wedding gift. At first, I thought it would be a good offer, but her husband, Sebastian, was also happy, so I was glad that I was able to do it. Ever since Abigail left home, I sometimes feel very lonely, but they lived about 2 stations away, and it was a relief to be able to see them at any time. Even after marriage, me and Abigail get along, and we go back and forth to each other's houses. After my grandson, Liam, was born, the pictures of him that Abigail sent me on my phone were a source of comfort. And when Liam is able to walk alone, I've already learned how to get to your house. Well, Liam, it's awesome, you can come anytime. I was relieved to see him, and his proud appearance was so cute. Sebastian also said, they love you so much, so you can meet her anytime, so I was relieved without hesitation. However, about a year ago, when I asked her about her weekend plans, her voice became heavy, and I wondered what was wrong, so I asked why. Well, Abigail slurred her words and didn't tell me clearly. At the time, I was somewhat curious, but I didn't pursue it further. I regretted that very much later. After that, I got busy with my work, and I couldn't see Abigail and Liam for a long time, and one day I thought it was time to see them. When I called her, Sebastian answered for some reason. Isabella, I will tell you clearly, will you not come to the house anymore? Actually, it bothers Abigail. As he said, Abigail seemed to think that it would be troublesome to keep up with my story. It's common sense to prioritize my family, right? Sebastian also wants to invite his family over on the weekends, and I am in the way. In any case, his words, which I had not expected, shocked me as if I had been hit in the head with a hammer. I'm sorry I didn't notice until now. My mind was confused with feelings of apology and surprise, and I finally managed to squeeze out these words. She's worried that if I tell you the truth, it'll shock you. So please don't tell Abigail that I told this time. With that said, he hung up the phone unilaterally. Abigail. I wonder if something happened. What Sebastian is saying may have a point. However, I just couldn't believe that Abigail, who had always been a good friend with whom I could talk about anything, would reject me. So after that, I tried contacting Abigail's phone again. "Hello, Abigail." "Oh, it's Sebastian. I'm sorry, but can you please stop bothering us anymore?" After that, even if you send a message, it won't even be marked as read. In the end, I couldn't get in touch with Abigail, and before I knew it, it had been about 6 months since I last saw Abigail and Liam. One afternoon, I was alone at home drinking coffee when the intercom rang. "Oh no, it's Liam. What the hell is going on?" I knew right away that it was Liam, so I hurriedly opened the door. Liam contorted his face for a moment as soon as he saw my face, but his expression soon became sharply serious. "Give me $10,000. I was terribly surprised why a 6-year-old would want such a large sum of money. Moreover, Liam, whom I had not seen in half a year, was a battered man up close, and many things ran through my head. "I'll prepare a hot meal for you right now, so go into the house first." He tried to grab Liam's hand and invite him inside, but he refused. "I don't want to sleep in the park anymore, so I'm buying a house, otherwise it's going to be hard for my mom." "What? What do you mean?" "Apparently, Liam and Abigail have been camping for many days. Mommy got stuck. He said he had come here to ask for help. Please guide me to Abigail." I hurriedly took a taxi with Liam to a park near my daughter's house. When I arrived, I found Karina in what appeared to be a cardboard house in an inconspicuous part of the park. "Abigail, please, open your eyes." No matter how many times I called her name, she wouldn't budge, and I called an ambulance with trembling hands. Abigail, who had a high fever and was unconscious, was immediately taken to the treatment room. Liam, who was thin, was also examined, but fortunately he was at a level where he could rest at home. After a while, according to the explanation of the hospital, she was on an intravenous drip, and it seemed that the only thing left to do was to monitor the progress, and if something happened, they would contact me. We wanted to stay close to her all the time, but we were sent home for the time being. "Grandma, I'm hungry." The tension seemed to be released all at once, and when I arrived at my house, Liam sat down at the front door. So I put my grandson in a hot tub and made him his favorite hamburger in the meantime. Yummy! My anxiety grew even more as I looked at her with enthusiasm. Suddenly, his hand stopped and he began to cry. "What's the matter, honey?" "I'm here for you." I wrapped my arms around Liam's shoulders, wrapping them around him. "You know, we were kicked out of our house, and I can't go to kindergarten anymore because it costs a lot." He said that one day, Sebastian's mother and sister suddenly came to sit at home and began to use Abigail. Not only did Sebastian pretend not to see it, but they got together and treated Abigail like a servant. If Liam and Abigail tried to make even the slightest noise, they would get angry, and when it was bad, things would fly. After living like this for a while, he was kicked out of his house. At first, we had a little money, so we bought bread and ate it, and Mom wasn't hungry, so I had to eat it all. But then Mom lost her energy. "Why didn't you come to my house sooner?" Mom said she couldn't because bad things would happen to you. But Mom is sick, so I rushed over. Scraping together the rest of his coins and relying on his memories of the old days, Liam said he had come all the way to ask for help. If I had noticed her problem, this might not have happened. I couldn't help but feel sorry for myself when I thought about how hard the two of them must have been going under the cold sky. But no matter how much you regret it, you can't turn back time. At the very least, I picked up my phone to talk to Sebastian. However, in order not to upset Liam anymore, I held his hand first and slept on the futon with him, and he immediately began to fall asleep, probably because he was tired. As soon as I saw that Liam was asleep, I called Sebastian, but no matter how many times I called, I couldn't get through. When I gave up and tried to take the laundry out of Abigail's luggage at the hospital. "What is this?" I found something in it. I learned the truth hidden there and vowed to take revenge on Sebastian's family. The next day, I immediately took action to make sure they were hunted down. Yes, I'm sure they don't know about this. When everything was ready, I left Liam at home and left. I went to the house where Sebastian was. Thinking that it was Sunday and I should be at home, I went to their house with a certain person. Who is this in broad daylight like this? Sebastian's sister treated me as if it was her own house, so I forced my way into the house. "Hey, what's going on?" If you take a quick look around, the inside of the house is littered with food scraps and clothes that have been taken off. There is no shadow to be seen when Abigail was here. "Sebastian, who are these rude people?" Not only his sister, but even his mother tried to stand in front of me as if it were her home. "I'm Abigail's mother. I'm sure we've met a few times, and I wonder who the rude people are." Ironically, they looked at each other and didn't seem to care. I was angry at their attitude and walked over to Sebastian. "Why did you kick Abigail and Liam out of this house, and why are they so selfish in this house?" "I'm the breadwinner of the family, so that's fine." Sebastian doesn't turn blue at all in response to my question. "I got divorced and didn't have a house to live in, and my mom's apartment was due for renewal, so I decided to live with him." At his sister's words, his mother nodded loudly. "That's no reason to kick my daughters out." "Well, it's a stranger, isn't it?" Even his mother said, "It's bad that they can't be of any use to the servants," and I was frustrated. "Don't you care about your wife and kid?" "Abigail is now unconscious." "Well, she deserves it." His sister and his mother were also grinning and whispering to each other. "You guys can laugh only now, and Sebastian, you were cheating on her." There was a momentary pause, but he still had a relaxed expression. "Is it cheating? If you say something inappropriate, I'll sue you for defamation. Can you still make a big deal out of this?" I showed off a number of photos of secret meetings between Sebastian and his cheating partner. "Where did you get that?" I pulled out the exchange diary that Abigail and I used to exchange. There was a lot of writing on the pages that remained after she stopped communicating with me after we got married. In the beginning, it was full of joy about newlywed life and children. Eventually, however, it began to spell out her heartbreak, such as, "I'm so sad that Sebastian cheated on me." When she was kicked out of the house, She must have been frustrated to leave it like this. However, the diary said, I can't find any evidence of this, so I asked a detective agency to do a background check on Sebastian. The man next to me muttered in a small voice, cheating is not good, and lifted his glasses. On top of that, I'm embezzling the company's money, and if she doesn't listen to you, you're ruining me socially, and you're controlling my daughter with false information. Apparently, Abigail believed it. Anyway, Sebastian happened to see me receiving money while I was negotiating in the lobby of the hotel and took a picture of it. Also, according to what was written in the diary, she had her phone taken away so that she could not call for help. However, Abigail said, I want to run to the police, but I don't want to drag my mom's leg by doing that. She didn't ask anyone for help. She would have reached her limit before she knew it. I don't remember embezzlement, and I can prove my innocence as much as I want. As far as I remember, it was probably when I received the sales in cash, not fraudulent money, and I can prove it as much as I want. When I said that, he gritted his teeth in frustration. Then, my accompanying man glared at Sebastian, saying, This is a fine defamation. Who the hell is this? When Sebastian pointed to the man next to me, he smiled and held out his business card, saying, Actually, this is who I am. The name of a major law firm was written on it. Lawyer. I can't come alone with you unreasonable, I don't know what you're going to do. When I said it coldly, Sebastian glared back at me in frustration, but he couldn't seem to say it back. In addition, the lawyer told him that Abigail had written her intention to divorce in her diary, and that sooner or later it would be settled. The lawyer then quickly pulled out the divorce papers that Abigail had already signed and prepared from the clear file. Well, then, don't come through the gate of this house again. Like the howl of a loser, he yelled. Next to it, his sister and his mother are also making a fuss. I took a deep breath and calmly pulled out a document. Sebastian, I know you're mistaken, but this house is Abigail's, not yours. What do you mean? I didn't hear that. To Sebastian, who suddenly became impatient, I pointed to the deed of the house that I had taken out. In the first place, this house was bought by me as a wedding gift. You left all the troublesome matters to Abigail, so you didn't notice whose name it was in. It shouldn't be. Sebastian, his sister and his mother all looked at Abigail's name written on the deed and began to hold their heads, their faces pale. Where do I go if I get kicked out of here? His mother also begins to blame Sebastian, saying, Yes, that's right, and yells at him to rent a house with his savings. I can't afford that, I don't have any savings, you guys take care of it for me. I don't have any money because I paid alimony to my ex-husband. To my surprise, his sister also had an affair and was divorced. On top of that, if he doesn't pay the rent, he's going to have a lot of fun, and he has no savings. Please forgive us. Please, I'll get along with Abigail. I looked at them who were crying uncontrollably. I'll never forgive you for what you've done, and I'm going to claim defamation and alimony for Abigail. I looked at the lawyer and he nodded deeply. When the three of them saw us, they fell to their knees. Oh, and please get out of here in 3 days, or the police might take you before that. I could hear them yelling behind my back, but I quickly left. Soon after that, I filed a report with the police, and they were interviewed and took care of me for about 3 days. In the meantime, I moved all their belongings to the trunk room and changed the lock on the house so that they could never come back again. In the end, Sebastian was fired from the company due to this incident and was abandoned by his cheating partner. And the 3 people who lost their homes seemed to be living in and working from morning to night. Through our lawyer, we demanded $5,000 in alimony for defamation and $20,000 in alimony for the physical and mental pain inflicted on Abigail. Of course, I also charged his cheating partner. Oh yes, right after that, I got a call from the hospital that Abigail woke up and I was discharged last month. Now I live together with Abigail and Liam, and I laugh every day.